Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here again from ScaleFreak.com, coming to bring you the next video in the build series of the Team Associated RC10F6. This absolutely fascinating F1 kit developed and released by Team Associated. So far in the build series, you've watched me do the front, the arms, the linkage, the servo, the mount, the suspension, the tubes, the rear pod, the differential. What's next? Well, we have a front wing and we have a back wing. So let's get that stuff installed because this is what's going to make this thing look more like an F1 beast. Front wing, super easy. Now, aero, is that a thing? Of course it's a thing. Aerodynamic is a huge thing when it comes to kits. But of course, this is also acting as a front bumper. What's really neat about the Team Associated is they waited a little bit to release the kit to find out exactly what rule changes real F1 was going to release for this year and made this more like what the real F1 cars are actually using. And it's actually really neat designed, more of a V-shaped, and much wider than the averages, which means I'm probably going to hit less stuff with the front tires. It is an open wheel kit, so any protection it can give me is a win. This thing does come with a set of optional canards to install for additional view and downforce. Super, super easy. Tiny, tiny, tiny little 1.5 M2 screws. Little guys, not even big enough to really show on the camera. You're going to install these in. Now, I do recommend that you pre-thread the holes before you try to actually put it onto the kit itself. It will make life a little bit easier. Let me see, just make sure I got the correct side here. And, oh, there we go. And just watch the instructions so you'll see how the aerodynamic goes. So super easy to install. Oh, make sure you don't drop the screw. I'm like, why isn't it going on? Oh, the screw's not on it. So there we go. And screw it in. These screws are super, super small. So please, guys, take the extra second to not lose them. Or just don't use them. So there's one. And then, see, look, if you add that optional on, see the difference in the view? I don't know if you can see that, the black in the camera. Yeah, you can. And then the second side on. Ta-da! All right, so that's how that goes. Now, what else screws into the front of this is actually the body post that goes in the middle. With the F1 kits, there's only 3 body posts, 2 on the sides, 1 on the front wing. See this little guy here? Well, that's what it's going into. So you're going to make sure this is pointing in the correct direction, and you're going to get a countersunk screw, and you're going to get a body post. And you're going to get your 2 mil and screw that in. Pay attention to which way the body post is pointing. I usually put it so that the body clip will go sideways. Just like that. There we go. Now, it does come, like, I could do the step where I literally show you how to put a body clip in. It's in the instructions, but I think you can figure that part out. So this just fits into the top like that. So just, that's it. And then this goes onto the front of the chassis. Just like that. Now, this does give you 2 great big massive M4 screws. Remember, you're literally taking what could be complete brunt force trauma onto the front of this chassis, onto the front of this kit. So you need a screw a little bigger than normal to go through this thing to make sure that it's not going to get absolutely demoed. Again, anything on the bottom of the chassis, I put a little thread lock on. Oop, there we go. Super easy to fit on. Of course, this bumper was made for this kit, so it's an exact fit. And it's going into metal, so you can give it a good snug. And ta-da. So you'll notice here that this is giving you really nice wide protection so that when your wheel goes on there, let's see, I got one hanging out here. When your wheel goes on there, you have all the way to the edge of your wheel protection. So if you hit something, it's not going to hit the tire and shear it off like I've done more than a few times. It's just going to hit the wing more than likely and help protect your tire itself. So that's, thank you, Associated, thank you. So in the back itself, so that's the front wing. See what it looks like, nice V shape. On the back, a little more complicated, a few more parts. neat still though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's more. So anyway, back part, pay attention to which side you're looking at. This is, see, these two screws around here, we're going to go into that. Just make sure that you've got the flat part like this. Now, these little guys here are the side foils. Make sure you check to see which direction they go on. Like, what was it? Like this one. Like that. It's going to go on like this. And then, again, you're just going to switch back to your 1.5. Now, as a suggestion, just a suggestion, again, pre-thread everything while it's not on the kit. And when you're putting it into the plastic, don't tighten anything down yet. Reason being is because if you tighten it all down before it's all together, you may actually twist the plastic and twist the wing. I mean, you can untwist it. That's not a big deal. But just to make it as straight as possible and stuff like that, just kind of put it all together and then tighten it all down little bit by little bit once it's all together, just to make sure that you don't kind of tweak it or something like that. It is a small piece of plastic, but it is the aerodynamic part of the kit, which means that if it's too much upset, then you're literally ice skating uphill at one point. You're creating more of a problem than you need to. Like the fact that I'm only half paying attention putting the screw in and I keep dropping it, so I am literally creating a problem where there isn't one. So there's like that. And on the other side, you'll also notice here, there's a hole in the middle. In real F1 cars, they have a brake light there. Now, Associated does have, or will have, I know I've seen the mention of it on their website, that there is going to be a part number for ordering an F1 brake light. So if you want to add to the realism of your kit, these are very, very scale-looking kits. So if you want to add to the real look of your kit, you can get that brake light and put it in the back. I think it's a really nice addition to the kit itself. I highly recommend it. Now, of course, now we're going to start to add the wings into the middle. A neat thing about F1 is DRS. DRS is a system where the driver has the ability to remove downforce from the rear wing on certain parts of the track, with stipulations, of course. If I remember correctly, at the DRS verification point, you have to be within 1 second of the car ahead of you. That will activate the ability to use DRS on your car, which will enable you to drop the downforce on your back wing on a straightaway so that you will get more top speed and more ability to pass. Kind of neat. But, of course, the stipulations are you have to be within, again, I think it is within 1 second of the car ahead of you at the DRS check-in. So the reason why I mention that is because this little kit, while you don't get the ability to adjust the wing, obviously, while you're on the track, you do get the ability to adjust the amount of downforce that you're going into the race with. So right now we've got the middle part on, we've got the bottom all built up. Now this top wing here, it has one little bit that fits into there and 3 screw holes to adjust where you want it to be. You can have a really heavy, let me just kind of, I'm not going to crank them down, I'm just going to tighten them down a little bit more so it doesn't move around as much, so I can kind of illustrate this a little bit better. Again, I'm going to wait until everything is all together before I really tighten them down, just so I don't distort the wing at all. So that should be good. So if I pop this in here, there's 1 and 2. Okay, so you have hole number 1, move this here, least amount of downforce. Most air can flow through. Then you have level 2, still get airflow, more downforce. That top wing is on more of an angle to catch the air. And setting 3, it almost closes up that gap. So it pretty much turns that whole thing into a scoop to give you a maximum amount of down. Actually, it does close up the gap if I put it to the correct hole. It gives you the maximum amount of downforce on that back wing, so that it's going to give you as much, it plants the back end as much as possible. The setting that's in the book is to use the middle. So it kind of, it's the cross in between. Again, with this kit, you have the ability to adjust to see what's going to work best with you. I did get some questions before as to whether or not downforce plays that big of a deal, or if a wing plays that big of a deal on these kits. And my comment to that was, I don't have a high enough skill level to be able to tell the difference between a small setting, but I can tell you that the absolute absence of a wing, I can feel that. So yes, these wings do play a big part in the racing themselves. Not having the wing on a touring car or an F1 car or a World GT car or anything on-road that's meant to have a wing, or even off-road that's meant to have a wing, you can definitely feel the difference if you don't have it as opposed to if you do have it. I'm just not good enough of a racer to be able to tell you if those small adjustments are going to make that much of a difference. So now I'm just going through and just kind of doing the final snug on these to give it the best chance of being a true build as possible. So there we go. That's what the rear wing appears like. It's nice and big and low. Now we'll grab the final set of screws that I need to mount this into the back of the kit. So see these little standoffs in the back? This is where my little 2 mil is going to come into play. So number 1, like this, and number 2, like this. Ta-da, and ta-da. So that's it. So that is the rear wing on, and it's got those nice heavy mounts in the back, so it's less likely. If you see some of the ones that have plastic mounts, there'll be a lot of movement on it. So the pod is some of the movement here, but a lot of movement on the back. With these metal mounts or these aluminum mounts, it actually is a nice rigid feel on the back. You get a little bit more advantage from the aero. There's your front. Acts as a nice strong bumper as well as giving you some aero. You know what, let me just finish this off real quick. Another step. For me, you didn't see me do it, but when you get your set of rims and tires, the front will not have bearings in here. There will be a couple extra bearings in here when you're looking through the bag. You'd be like, what are these for? 4 extra bearings? Those are what gets pressed into your wheels. I'm just using these wheels that I took off of a different kit. So 1 and 2 and 3. Actually, you know what? I'll strap those ones on the front first. The rear of the kit, you'll notice those great big giant hexes on the back. I promise you, the wheels will fit exact. There's no play. Now, when you're screwing these on with the bearing on the inside and the outside, notice how if I spin this, it stops right away. Loosen off the nut a little bit, and then try it again. And then you don't want any play, but you want to put just enough tension on that nut so it doesn't have any play side to side, but enough tension on that nut that it's not going to squish the bearings and hamper its ability to roll freely. So there's the second one. Give it a spin. Tighten it till it starts to slow. And then back it off. And just make sure there's no side-to-side play. Now the rear, again, these great big hexes on the back. You can see the wheels themselves are hexed. Throw it on, and it will be a snug fit. Snug fit. Holy crap. Make sure you get the hole in there. There we go. There we go. Nice snug fit. And these, with the associated kit, comes with serrated nuts for the rear. So once it's on, it's on. You don't have to worry about how much you tighten these ones. Obviously, don't strip the aluminum, but there's no bearing or anything attached to the wheel itself, so you don't have to worry about that. And ta-da! That is the kit put together. That is everything with the build of the kit itself. See how this does move side to side, how this moves like this. All of this is centered off. Back spins nice and freely. The motor will go here and be a direct drive motor, pinion to spur. Battery I will place sideways to put in that space. ESC, receiver, servo. I'll put the transponder up here somewhere out of the way. Steering, protection, and once I get it mounted, the body will go on like this. And that's how it all works. Ta-da! So that is, I'm happy to show you my Team Associated RC10F6. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's a fascinating design. I'm really happy with it. It's super, super lightweight. And I'm just really happy with what Associated's built. So Team Associated, great job on this kit. Highly recommend it. There's a lot of people in the comments fields that said I was thinking about getting this kit. Guys, do it. Just go get it. The thing is fascinating. I will be doing in the future some videos with comparisons to other cars. I will be doing a lot of track testing. I'm of course going to try different setups, different battery layouts, different diff settings, all that stuff. You can be expecting to see all of that stuff coming in due time. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please comment below if you have any questions about this. Thank you very much for watching the entire series. If you're just seeing this video, there's a whole series of every step of this thing getting built. Please click on the like, on the subscribe, and of course, share with your friends. So thank you very much, guys, for watching the series. Have a great day.